I honestly can't believe that it's taken this long for a company to release a product that was purpose-built for professional photographers to upload in the cloud high-resolution, full raw images. Earlier this year, I wrote 2 out of 3 parts outlining my entire workflow, from import to Lightroom optimization to backup, both for local backup and cloud. And by the end of part 1, it started to become very clear to me that this is a really difficult thing to explain. Not just because some of the tools that I use do require a little bit of time and practice to get familiar with. One of the tools I highly recommend, even outside of syncing RAW files for any reason, it's a free app that's called SyncThing. I'm not gonna get into it here, but it's a free product that simply keeps files across multiple computers in sync with one another, and it's rock solid and very stable. You can see here, looking at this post, it's quite the lengthy thing to try and explain where multiple copies go and when. At the end of the day, my goal is to always just be able to hit import in one location, an initial import on my photos, and then everything gets sort of distributed everywhere that I need without me having to worry about it or create a bunch of automations that might fail or anything like that. And it works. It works really well the way that I've got everything set up. The big problem with anything workflow related is that everybody's setup is different. Some people have a laptop, some people have a desktop, some people have a fast internet connection, some people have a slow internet connection. Some people have really fast M chips, some people have Intel chips still. Some people work across one computer, some people 2, some people a whole team. Some people have a budget of $500, some people have a budget of $5,000. So all of those different variables mean no matter what I recommend or what somebody else recommends to you, it's gonna take a fair amount of effort from your end to figure out what works best for your configuration. Until now, thankfully, the editing company Imagen has released a cloud backup solution built right into their app. I'm not sure exactly where they got the idea for this, but I'm so excited to finally see it rolling out. And if you already subscribe to Imagen, then you get a free terabyte of online backup right out of the gate. No extra cost whatsoever, which is pretty amazing, and I'm honestly not really sure how they're able to do that. One of the things I always found really interesting about the way that Imagen approaches editing is that it takes your high-resolution RAW file and sizes them down to a very, very small RAW file, a DNG smart preview basically, and then sends it to the cloud. And it's like, man, well, if I had the option, how cool would it be if I had a fast enough internet speed or I had the time to be able to wait for the upload, if I could choose a higher resolution version of that for them to edit and cull from or anything else. Wouldn't it be great if I could just keep that project saved in the cloud? I'm making the transfer already. Well, that's essentially what they've built out here. You actually get 3 different size options based on what you think works best for you. They've got an optimized photos where it's sort of a 4:1 reduction in the raw files. You get a huge amount of size savings, but you don't lose any resolution. You can choose to upload the original high-res files with no change whatsoever. And then for free, with 0 cost, meaning I'm pretty sure it doesn't really even count against your terabyte, is their low-resolution backup. So the images you were already sending to them for editing anyway are just always saved. So that's pretty awesome. I'm just gonna create a new project and open up my main Lightroom catalog just to get a sense of how much space a full 8,000 image wedding would require and take up. Oh, by the way, they also massively improved the load and opening time for Lightroom catalogs. I have 117,000 images in mine, and that took maybe about 10 seconds to open. It used to take about a minute. So the process I used to use was making just a temporary catalog on my desktop of just the images I wanted to use, and then I would import those back into my main catalog. That's like, 30 seconds that I don't have to spend thinking or doing that anymore, which is really nice. Okay, so say I wanted to create a project using my editing profile. There are still a few slots available. If you are interested in having access to my AI editing profile, it's available to my Patreon workshop tier. Let's sort by not flagged. And okay, so here's a wedding that has 8,993 total images. And it looks like the overall cost against my total storage use is 18.48, and then the estimated with the selected photos is 56.56 gigabytes. This estimated cost is if I were to send these off for editing. And I did jump ahead. I went right into the edit phase because I still don't use Imagen for culling, but let's dial this back to start from the very beginning in case I did want to cull, because I'm curious what the backup option looks like there. Wow, it's so nice to see the catalog actually open quickly now. So let's do a test backup project. This is 8,304 images. This is total storage. It's going to be about 48 gigabytes. So that's a lot smaller than I would have thought. Those optimized ones are really saving you a huge amount of space. If I go back to my cloud settings and I choose original photos, I'm going to pick that same folder and see what the difference in size is. So I think that was about 48 gigabytes of total storage used. If I select this now, it's going to be 194 gigabytes. So, that's a significant chunk of my terabyte of free data. Based on the upload and download tests of both of these sizes, it is absolutely not worth doing the original raw file backup. I don't even really recommend that with other backup solutions either. The amount of dynamic range that you're losing is so minimal, you almost can't even tell, especially if you used what is now a discontinued product called RAWSy. Yeah, the compression algorithms these days are just incredible. So optimized photos, you get a huge amount. This is almost 200 gigabytes versus 48 gigabytes. That delta is huge. The space savings is worth it. And you're still gonna have the raw files with nearly the same dynamic range and editing with colors and all of that. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start this upload. Call edit. This is what's amazing about this. Once you've got the preference of size selected, the backup is just built into the entire workflow. So whether or not you're culling and editing or just editing, you don't have to do anything other than make the project the way you normally would, select the images you want, and then hit upload. And then up in the right corner, just like any other project, you'll see like the status of how long it's gonna take. The insanely cool thing about this is as long as you've got the newest version of the app and you see these options, you will always get a free low resolution version of your raw files that you can download at any time. So the 1 terabyte is only available during the beta period. Once that's over, you'll have to look at their pricing and see exactly what everything comes out to. But no matter what, you're still gonna get the free low resolution files that you're already uploading anyway for editing and culling backed up to your account. So that's pretty amazing. I'm not really sure how they're able to do that. Just to take a look at the time amount required. So this is the high resolution 8,304 images being backed up, and it's gonna take about 2.5 hours. So that is well worth it and super fast. And once this stage is started, you can open up Lightroom and get right back into your catalog if you have other things you wanna do. Once something is backed up, just a nice little cloud status icon here that lets you know if it's just the low resolution files or if it's the actual high res and the overall total size. And then you just, I'm guessing, I can't even remember, but I'm assuming you just click here. Boom, if you want to choose what to download for your high-res files. The file names will stay exactly the same as the original file names, and you get the option of purging the high-res photos if you wanted to, for some reason, if you were running out of space, and you get the option of downloading the high-res or the low-res. It works exactly the way that you would expect. But my absolute favorite thing about this, again, is that the only thing that matters is that you can run the Imagen app and you have an internet connection that's reasonably fast enough to deal with uploading that amount of data. I'm definitely keeping some redundancy locally on site with external hard drives. As soon as I import into Lightroom, that part of my workflow is kind of gonna stay the same. But everything else about how I use backplays and do all this other cloud backup stuff and simply use the new tools built right into their app. Again, I cannot believe it's taken this long for a professional photographer targeted backup solution to exist, but this is wonderful. I have an entire new level of peace of mind unlocked that I just really appreciate. Good on Imagen for listening to the ideas of other photographers and sort of the pain points of what so many of us deal with and genuinely working hard to roll out the best solution that they can possibly come up with. There's not much else to say about it. I will probably make a little dedicated article at some point on Patreon, but it's really intuitive and doesn't require a lot of hand-holding other than to say that it actually works. I would highly recommend that if you do this for the first time, upload an entire project and then download it. Just put yourself in the mindset that, oh my God, I lost everything, what do I do? Go through that whole process of downloading it so you can see what the recovery actually feels like on a step-by-step basis, and then go from there. Hopefully, once you're set up, you can forget it and never have to think about it, because I would like to believe that nobody's gonna have to deal with image corruption or data loss or broken memory cards or stolen hard drives. Let me know if you have any questions at all, and I'll be back soon. Bye, everyone.